As games become bigger in scale, reveling in the sandbox nature of larger worlds and numerous decisions, or the near endless replay value of multiplayer, it's always nice to have a solid, linear title to fall back on. Let's take a look at 15 titles that have offered some of the best single-player experiences in recent years. A Short Hike. Having arrived in Hawk Peak Provincial Park and unable to get cell reception, Claire must venture to its peak in a short hike. Yeah, it's a very simple premise, but the world built around this simple goal, with all of its side activities and colorful characters, is incredibly wholesome. Players help locate lost items, go fishing, partake in races, and even fly. Even with its cute looks, there's a fleeting feeling of summer, of gallivanting about and learning new things while just having fun and remembering what's really important. Resident Evil 2. Remaking a game can be tough, since there's a desire to do something new while retaining the spirit of the original. The 2019 remake of Resident Evil 2 somehow combined the best of both worlds, delivering a graphically amazing experience that still sticks to the series' trademark puzzle solving, survival horror, and adventuring. Whether it's the overbearing presence of Mr. X or the terrifying atmosphere, Resident Evil 2 is an incredible homage to the original while carving out its own zombie-ridden path. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
There are two Nefariouses now? Clank first, Nefarious later.
Insomniac's beloved platforming duo make their long-awaited return in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. After the Dimensionator goes haywire, Ratchet and Clank, along with new character Rivet, must deal with multi-dimensional rifts, a counterpart to Nefarious that became Emperor, and other hazards to save the universe. Old and new weapons collide, while the platforming is even more responsive than ever thanks to wall running, dashes, and double jumping. Though there are numerous planets and side dimensions to explore, Rift Apart is a thrilling story from start to finish that's well worth the ride. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is essentially a compilation containing the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, but the whole is far greater than the sum of its parts, as players embody lawyer Ryunosuke Naruhodo, the ancestor of Phoenix Wright, on an incredible adventure of mystery, crime solving, and court battles. Well-written dialogue makes the experience a breeze, along with each case offering some fun scenarios, all building up to their own incredible conclusions. Mortal Kombat 11. Forget the crypt, the numerous currencies, and the AI fighter abuse in the towers. Mortal Kombat 11's story is simply epic. It sees the past and future of Earthrealm's warriors colliding as Kronika, the Keeper of Time, seeks to unmake everything. There's just so much here for serious fans to embrace, from the interaction between older and younger versions of Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage, to the return of favorites like Shao Kahn and Jade. In terms of production values, presentation, and sheer callbacks, Mortal Kombat 11 is a stellar fighting game campaign. Tetris Effect. Including Tetris by itself already feels like cheating. It's one of the best games ever made, after all. But Tetris Effect takes it to an entirely different plane of existence. The aesthetic, which cleverly uses particle effects and themes in unique ways, coupled with composer Noboru Muto's captivating tunes, result in a spectacle of sight and sound. Of course, there's plenty of gameplay here as well, whether you're clearing stages in journey mode or venturing into effect mode for classic gameplay and chill puzzle solving. CUPHEAD. What do you get when you mix a Fleischer-inspired aesthetic, run-and-gun gameplay, and some of the best designed bosses in any game yet? Studio MDHR's CUPHEAD, where the titular hero and his brother Mugman are on a quest to save their souls. Though traditional run-and-gun stages are involved, the game leans heavily into boss battles, each with their own unique phases, tactics, and nuances. Though it can be challenging, CUPHEAD rewards patience, timing, and perseverance, becoming a timeless classic in the process. Celeste. One of the finest 2D platformers and video games ever made, Celeste is about Madeline, who embarks on a journey to ascend the peak of Celeste Mountain. What follows is a series of platforming challenges as players dash, wall climb, and much more through 8 chapters, with the 9th chapter, Farewell, offering a post-game story. From the emotional music by Lena Raine and gorgeous art style, to the taut pacing and pitch-perfect gameplay that strikes a balance between challenging and fun, Celeste is simply fantastic. Half-Life: ALYX. Half-Life 3. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, Valve's Half-Life: ALYX explores the dystopic future of the series from a brand new perspective. As Alyx Vance makes her way through City 17, the player is exposed to its dank underground, utilizing various tools like the gravity gloves to survive combine soldiers, head crabs, and worst of all, Jeff. This VR-only title offers a pared-down experience with more tense pacing compared to the mainline games, and though it's not the threequel that fans sought, it does advance the overall story in its own clever ways. A Plague Tale: Innocence. In 2019, Asobo Studio released A Plague Tale: Innocence. Its utterly beautiful graphics contrasted heavily with its gruesome 100 Years' War setting with the Black Plague running rampant. As Amicia Darun, players must escort their younger brother Hugo to safety once Inquisition troops kill their entire family. Despite some lackluster enemy AI, the tense stealth, light puzzle solving, and sheer terror of outrunning hordes of rats makes A Plague Tale: Innocence utterly enthralling. The Last of Us Part 2. Despite taking a more open approach to its environmental design, The Last of Us Part 2 is still very much an experience devoted to the core narrative. More visceral and responsive gameplay, unique environments, and a twisting story that jumps between the perspectives of Abby and Ellie make this an incredible, emotionally draining journey. Of course, the stellar presentation is also worth praising for its sheer attention to detail, graphical fidelity, and stellar soundtrack. Return of the Obra Dinn. It's 1807, and the Obra Dinn, a ship that's been missing for 5 years, mysteriously returns to port. What befell its 60 lost souls? Utilizing the Memento Mortem, the player must venture into past memories, viewing each crew member's time of death in an effort to identify their corpses and find out what happened. Sporting a 1-bit monochromatic art style and layers of intriguing mystery, this is one of the all-time greats for adventure game fans. ASTRO'S Playroom. ASTRO'S Playroom comes from Team Asobi and garnered acclaim as one of the best platformers of last year that was given away completely free, if you bought a PS5 that is. In essence, this is a 3D platformer that's meant to showcase each aspect of the PS5, but it's also a colorful romp through various unique environments, almost like you're exploring one big party inside of the console. It's a loving homage to the most influential PlayStation franchises of all time. It's adorable, responsive, and lots of fun, making it the perfect way to kick off one's PS5 experience. Hades. A story in roguelike games is nothing new, but Supergiant Games took things much further with Hades. As Zagreus, the player must escape from the underworld, battling the forces of his father and leveraging the boons of Olympus. There is an enormous range of dialogues and events, all fully voice acted, making it as though your successes and failures have a tangible impact. And that's not accounting for the incredible gameplay that feels so smooth and responsive while still providing a diverse amount of build options and choices. When everything just clicks, few games can surpass the fun that Hades offers. What Remains of Edith Finch. Giant Sparrow's first-person narrative adventure is a game about death, which is to say that it presents the various experience of those who died in morbid, exhilarating, mystifying, or surreal ways. The story sees Edith Finch returning to her childhood home and recounting the death of each family member. Each has their own range of mechanics and aesthetics. Each has their own compelling stories to tell. Even if death can be overwhelming, What Remains of Edith Finch proves that it can also be beautiful in its own unique ways. And that brings us to the end of this video. A quick request before we conclude: we upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all your notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.